there, what's happening YouTube? Thanks for stopping back into the channel tonight, right here with the Rustbelt Mechanic. You dived into another episode of Nifty Tools of the Week. This is where I go through some brand new tools or some nifty tools that have just in general helped me get through my work week here at the dealership. We're going to go through these tonight. Hopefully they will find their way into your toolbox as well. Stay tuned. Tonight we're going to be starting off with our most inexpensive tool, also just so happens to be the smallest tools here on the set. This is our Snap-on Quick Clip Tire Deflator set. It's a 4-piece set from Snap-on, and it is a super simple, easy tool that you didn't really know you needed until you actually had the set. Now, normally when you're doing a set of tires, you get a certain tool to be able to take the valve cores out of each one of the tires. You take every single one of them out and have them sitting over at the tire machine. Now what you're able to do with a set like this is clip each one of these onto a certain tire while you're dismounting the tires. That way, this tire is going to be able to deflate as you're working on everything else. Makes it pretty simple and easy. Also, that you don't have to take out any of those cores. Also, for example, if you're working with any kind of tire pressure sensors that are those pesky aluminum ones that have the steel cores to them, people leave the caps on them, and of course, corrosion here in the great Rustbelt state of Ohio, they decide to corrode and you can't get those valve cores out. You know they're going to break, so instead of breaking them off and having to get the customer to buy a $70, $80, $100 sensor, you can just deflate the tire with one of these to be able to access and take the tire off. So really neat, nifty little tool that could find its way into your toolbox. Part number on this one is VSCS104R. Now normally MSRP price on this one is going to run $64.95. However, most tool trucks run specials on these. I picked this one up off of my tool truck for 50 bucks. So pretty nifty little tools. Next up on our nifty tools list is going to be this Bluetooth battery tester coming from SP Tools USA. This part number on this one is SP61061. This Bluetooth battery tester is a really ingenious, nifty little device that's able to fit inside just about any technician's budget. It's also capable of doing just about anything battery testing or charging system testing wise that any technician is going to need to try out. It's able to test and read voltages from anywhere from 6 to 30 volts, maintained for 12-volt systems though. It's able to test 100 all the way up to 2,000 cranking amps with this unit. Bluetooth, it's going to connect to your device, whether it be an Android or an iOS device. There are apps available in either one of their app stores. It's going to connect to the battery, able to test the battery, able to store saved results, also able to test charging systems, diode ripples, also able to test starting systems as well, how many volts are dropped during the starting process, also able to test the internal resistance of the battery, and on top of that, able to take all of those results and send them off to either a customer or somebody else at the dealership, whether it be your service manager, service writer. All the results are sent off to an easy to access place. You can text them, you can email them. It's really, really easy to use. I actually have a 2011 Caravan sitting over there, so let's hop over to this and check out how easy it is to use. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to hook up straight to our battery. Make sure you're also touching the main poles of the battery when you go to test it. So there we are. Clamps are nice, easily retractable, spring loaded. Also, this thing does have internal protection against hooking up this tool to the wrong polarity. So you don't have to worry about messing up your tool. You're going to connect to the BT100 app, and we're going to jump into this one. I actually did a test earlier, and we're going to see how this one works exactly. We're going to go to a quick check right here. And we're going to put in that it is a regular flooded battery, cold cranking amps. Let's have a look here. This one is rated at 790 cold cranking amps. 790. Done, and then we're going to run our test. There we are running, which tells us our state of health, 86%, tested at 732 cold cranking amps, 12.4 volts, has an internal resistance value of 4.01 ohms, and the state of charge was at 66%. So we could see that this battery could use a good recharge, but it is testing in the good range. It also shows our previous test that we did here when I tested a Ram 1500 earlier on today. All right, so that's that one. Now let's go on to our other tests. Now, if we want to add a specific battery, like a specific vehicle, ones that we specifically own or something, you can add batteries here into the system to name them specifically. But for this next one, let's go over to our cranking test. So we can see the last test that we have on the 2500 Hemi that I did a test on was that one right there. But now let's go ahead and do a cranking test on this specific one. Let's kind of move around to where I can kind of reach and access the starter on this one. Hit the test button and crank. There we go. We can see our minimum voltage drop to 9.99 volts, 650 milliseconds of cranking time. Test as cranking system okay. Now that we've already gone ahead and done our starting test, let's do a full charging system test on this vehicle as well. We can see our previous test already pops up, but we want to start a new one. So we're going to hit the test button and we start this with an unloaded test. It says turn off all equipment, set engine at 2500 to 3500 RPM, then hit start test. So we're going to increase our RPM, starting test. Here we are. Now it says for our loaded test, turn on your lights. We're going to turn on our HVAC blower. We're going to get our wipers going. Get those set at 1500 RPM to 2000 and hit start test. There we are. Now it says turn on lights only, so we're going to turn everything else off. It says record at idle, so we're idling, start test. Holding it idle. And there you have it. We have our complete charging system test. We tested at 14.21 volts at the idle speed charging, and charging at our high RPM 1407. We can also see our charging voltage diode ripple, 9 millivolts. So we are charging A-OK right there. Now, if you're going to want to share any of these results, you can share each one individually by hitting this little button up here at the top. You can share that one in either the full color little format that you see right there, or just the standard text option in there. Now, if you want to send all of your results all together, all you're going to have to do is go to your settings and you're going to generate report. With this one, it's going to send a report with your battery test, your start performance test, and your charging system test all together as one. All you have to do is hit the share button and it's able to drop down and share it either from text message, email, any kind of messaging through one of these smart cellular devices. So really cool integrated device that does just about everything you need to do with a battery or charging system on a car. Now, obviously this tool is really small, really compact, able to carry it around in your back pocket if you want to. Going to be IP65 rated, so pretty dust and waterproof, not proof, but pretty resistant to those things. Now, this one does not really have an internal battery to it, so unfortunately it's not going to be able to test things in the lower range if the battery is all the way down to like half a volt or something like that. You've got to at least have some kind of a charge within the battery for it to be able to pick that one up. Now, comparatively with other Bluetooth battery testers on the market right now, this one is really awesome. Most of these other Bluetooth battery testers run from $125 all the way up to $450 depending on what kind of models you're wanting. Now, this one going to be able to fit into just about anyone else's budget. Normal MSRP cost on this one is going to run $80 flat over at sptoolsusa.com, but they decided to throw me a bone this week and give my subscribers a discount only for the next 7 days. You use the code RB10 at checkout, you're going to get an additional $10 off of this one, puts this thing down to $70 even. You guys can pick this one up, and like I said, as compared to any of these other ones on the market, how well these compare to what it can handle, this thing is pretty awesome for a nifty little tool. Now, last but not least, on a Nifty Tools of the Week episode, I picked up this 124-piece master tap and die set from Matco. This thing is an amazing tool set. Now, previously, I had a really old Matco set. It was still a 115 or 120-piece set that I had picked up roughly 8 to 10 years ago. Now, in that kit, some of the taps, some of the dies were actually starting to show their age, and they had actually a couple of little chips to them. They weren't nearly as sharp as they were before, and I really liked how well this set was set out, how well all of the actual taps and dies stayed within the kit, even if you shook the case all around. Everything was nice, brand new, nice and neat. So let's check in what makes this one different. Now, what I really liked about this kit was it just literally had everything. We've got everything for our metric taps over here. We've got our metric dies all within here. We're not skipping really any sizes at all. We're going to be running from M3 all the way up through M12 in this kit. Really comprehensive, standard sizes down here, running from, I believe, 1/4 inch all the way up through 1/2 inch. So we've got a really complete set. We've got our thread depth gauges, our thread gauges to be able to tell you which pitch they are, both in metric and SAE. Now, what I really liked about this one for the dies as well as the tap adapters was it had this ratcheting adapter. It is able to ratchet there. Also able to switch directions just by moving the handle down. You're able to move either with 2 hands or 1 single hand just easily. We've got that one right there. We've also got our tightening screw for any of these that are adapters for the dies that would then go into there. And then we've got our adapters for all of our taps that would then go into our ratcheting device as well. Got that one for the small sizes as well as the larger square bit ends to them. Also hidden up here in the very top, let's get you guys kind of readjusted here. We can see that we have all of our steel fluted bits, pretty much everything that we would need for the extractors, as well as all of our extractors, easy outs, just the cone form version of that one. Not something that I'm really excited about using in those. I just don't really have great luck with those. They end up breaking off more often than I need, but it does come in that kit if that's something that you guys don't have. Like I said earlier, this kit was really complete and it's able to keep intact. The last one that I had, didn't matter what I did, if I just slipped it over or tipped it over or something like that, something got out of place. This one, you can see right here, we are able to kind of move it and jumble it all over the place and everything stays exactly where it's supposed to be at. Now, I know tap and die sets aren't something that every technician is going to be buying very often at all. As a matter of fact, most technicians only ever use one set for their entire career. So getting one that is a full kit, nice, easy to use, comes in a great blow molded case that is able to be packaged up, taken anywhere, and is going to stay into place is something that definitely gets a thumbs up in my book. Now, obviously, these tap and die kits, especially at the professional grade like these, are going to be a little bit more pricey. This one comes in at a whopping $500. But like I said before, when you're paying for a quality tap and die kit, something that is very comprehensive, has everything that you're going to need pretty much, having this at your disposal is almost limitless. So you guys are able to get just about anything done when it comes to tapping, threading, anything for all of these sizes. A really great kit to look into. On top of that, for some of these kits, most dealers do keep them in stock, so they are able to run some really great deals on this one. Like I said, MSRP on this one is about $500. I picked this one up on special for about $425. Plus, he gave me a kickback trade-in on my old set, so it was a win-win. I really enjoy seeing this one in my toolbox, and thankfully I have it because I just so happened to have a couple of cross-threaded bolts come across my path just a couple hours ago, so we're going to be getting in through that one this week. This one's going to come in great handy, and definitely a nifty tool that I recommend that everyone needs to have in their toolbox. Now, keeping in good form with a lot of my previous Nifty Tools of the Week videos, I wanted to be able to showcase another YouTube channel for you guys, someone that you may not have heard of, somebody who puts out great content, and someone that you guys might enjoy. This week, I wanted to be able to point out Edge Automotive Solutions. So here in the US, they are the US distributor for the SP Tools brand, and they are an amazing company to be able to check out. If you guys want to check out your YouTube channel, they do some great how-to videos on using a lot of the SP tools. Some of the ones that you may not see here on the channel, they do a lot of how-to videos over there for a lot of that tool brand. They also do some really great interviews. I was actually lucky enough to interview the SP Tools CEO a couple of weeks ago on their set. They have a really great professional set, something that you really haven't seen in the tool market before. We've actually got multiple things coming up on the channel that are going to be exclusives to the tool market. So you want to make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you also turn on that bell notification so you get notified when I come out with cool, awesome content just like this one here today. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, you guys stay awesome.